Hello friends, and welcome to Life Coach London. I'm Emily and I'm a life coach based in London, but you can get these videos anywhere, anytime for free, always. Today we're going to start talking about what happens when you compare yourselves to others, what kind of thoughts come up for you, and how can we turn this into something that actually benefits you. So find yourself a nice quiet spot, and it might be useful to make some notes or use a note-taking app on your phone, and when you're ready we will begin. Comparison is the thief of joy. So why do we always compare ourselves to others? Well, the short answer is we can't help it. Comparing ourselves to others is just a hardwired mechanism, and we all have it. A social psychologist called Leon Festinger said in 1954 that humans have a basic drive to evaluate themselves, and if there isn't a competition or some kind of test available, we will compare with other people we perceive as being in a similar category to us, or just people in proximity to us. And that's called social comparison theory. Now, it basically confirms what we all suspected, that everyone is always comparing themselves to Beyonce and never quite measuring up. So comparison can be a good thing sometimes. It's good to buddy up with someone on a task, or have a rival at work who we can compete with in order to better ourselves. And the problem with that is that now that we have lots of means of comparison around us all the time, so that comes through things like magazines, advertising, social media, that bring people from all different spheres of life into our proximity. So we are constantly comparing ourselves, and we may actually have a great life, but often we feel like we're coming up short in comparison to these images of perfection and curated stories of people's lives around us that look so wonderful and perfect, and we start to feel like we're not measuring up to that. Apart from Beyonce, who actually is perfect. So is there any real way to stop comparing ourselves to others? No, but there are ways to make the impact of comparing ourselves a more positive one. Now, good old Festinger believed that social comparison, far from being a damaging thing, could be used for self-enhancement and to motivate ourselves. Granted, he didn't live in the age of Instagram, but he had a point about the way that we can use comparison as a healthy tool. So here's the bit where you have to do the thinking. Grab your pen and paper, and we're going to make some notes on ourselves. Now, we're going to indulge some of our deep, dark feelings for a moment, and then we're going to change it into something more positive. So I want you to think about the last time that you felt searingly jealous about someone else. So it could be someone that you know in real life. It might be someone that you follow on social media. And if that word jealousy doesn't really make sense to you or resonate with you, how about thinking about the last time that you saw someone achieve something that you wanted, or maybe coveted something that someone else had. When you've got that in your mind, you might need to take a moment just to pause and fix that in your head, this specific moment where you last felt jealous or wanted something that someone else had, then when you're ready, think about what it was that they had that you wanted and you feel like you don't have. So write down that thing in your mind. Why were you jealous? What was it that provoked this feeling in you? What was it that you really wanted that they had? So that might be a material object, or it could be some kind of marker of success. It might be just a holiday, or it might be more to do with achievements. So it might be like a job or a book deal, or it might be some kind of social status that they had. Whatever it is, just write it down, and it might be more than one thing that they symbolized for you. So now that you've written that down and you can see it in black and white, is that still something that you really want, or was it just a fleeting emotion at that time? Like, does your soul burn with desire for this thing that you've written down? Is it scary that you've actually written it down and you've actually articulated that thing that you want? Have you been ignoring it for a while? If it is something that you genuinely want for yourself, great. Add it to your list of goals that we've talked about in previous videos, and start looking for ways to make it possible for yourself. Even negative emotions like guilt and envy can teach us something about what we really want. So it's okay to allow yourself to want something. It doesn't matter how big or small or how you think it might be perceived by other people. It could be totally superficial. That's fine. It might be unconventional. That's okay too. It's important to just acknowledge what you need and what you want, even if you think it's something that others won't approve of. If you're in the second camp and you look at this thing that you've written down and you think, actually, I don't really want that, so you compared yourself with this other person, you thought their life looked great, and actually now you've said the thing that they had that you didn't have. Actually, maybe it doesn't make that much sense for you. Like, if you have a family and you really envied this travel blogger who was traveling around all the time, like, would that actually be practical for you to be away from your family all the time? Maybe not. Maybe it's actually a sort of fantasy for you rather than something that you really want for yourself. Great. Remember that. Hold on to that next time you feel yourself comparing yourself to others and not measuring up. Remember that you've chosen your life for a reason, and you've gone down this path for a reason that suits you. I think this is probably something that we'll come back to again. I hope that this one exercise has helped you slightly reframe your thinking around comparing yourself to other people. And I think it would be useful to notice a bit more when that feeling comes up, because sometimes it's telling us something about what we actually want. When we feel jealous or envious, or we want something, and it's important to acknowledge whether that is a real desire or whether it's being manufactured by the different mechanisms that exist around us in this crazy modern world. In the meantime, don't overthink things too much. I know I talk about thinking a lot, but it's important also not to worry about these things. So you do you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. So take care, friends. See you in the next video.